Hey everyone, welcome to part 1 of my complete Nintendo Switch game collection. Now, I've been collecting since launch, and at this point I've got over 200 physical Nintendo Switch games, and in this mini-series I'm going to take you through all of them. In today's video we're diving into the first party titles, the heavy hitters straight from Nintendo themselves, from Mario to Metroid and everything in between. I'll show you what's in my collection, share some quick thoughts, and maybe even a few stories behind how I got some of these games. In the next parts, I'll be covering JRPGs, which I have a lot of, and then finishing off with a look at my third party and indie favourites, so make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss those. Let's get started. Right, let's start at the beginning. Here's how the collection got so ridiculous. Of course, like everybody else, I picked up a specific title on launch, and that was the collector's edition of Breath of the Wild. Now, the collector's edition is now stored away, unfortunately, but Breath of the Wild remains a favourite, and I can safely say that it's a title that I played and never went back to it. I absolutely adore the series. Legend of Zelda is probably my favourite series of all time. But Breath of the Wild was a fantastic game, but I feel like there was just a little bit too much going on that I kind of just never went back to it. I won't poo-poo its achievements, I won't downplay how good of a game it is still a fantastic game, but it's one of those games that you don't really need to replay or revisit that often, especially when Tears of the Kingdom came out. Now, Tears of the Kingdom builds up on just about everything on Breath of the Wild, except gives you Sky Island and the ability to make just about anything you like and then blow things up or set fire to whatever it is that you wanted to do. It is a fantastic title, and you know what? One of the main things about Zelda was that I always loved the explorer ability. One of my favourite core memories is searching through Link to the Past and just exploring and finding all of these unique treasures. The Ice Rod, for example, the Ice Rod in Legend of Zelda, I loved that just whole thing, because when I was a kid I didn't have guides or anything like that. I just found that on my own accord. I did the puzzles and found it, and Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom really gave me that old nostalgia of just being in a huge world and being able to explore it at your own pace. Not many titles can really say the same, if I'm perfectly honest. There's a lot of fantastic titles out there, but a lot of titles end up just being, you know, check marks, or just go to X place and search here for, I don't know, Spider-Man's backpack or something like that. But these two titles are fantastic. Some of my favourite titles of all time. Probably one of my favourite titles on the Nintendo Switch itself, except for Xenoblade, of course. But there was another title I did pick up, and that was Bomberman, or Super Bomberman R. Now, Super Bomberman R was one of these titles that I bought on launch because, if I'm honest, there wasn't a huge amount of titles that really interested me other than Breath of the Wild, and I kind of needed something else, something multiplayer. And you know what? This one, while not being one of the best titles in the franchise or even on the system, it was still a nice little launch title, and I think I give it a lot more credit for being a fun launch title than I think it really kind of needed. But yeah, it's a fun little title. We're going to move on and talk more about Zelda itself, because we did get Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. Now, this is probably my least favourite of the 3D Zeldas, and the only reason being is the controls. The controls aren't great on it, and this one, it tries to fix them, but if I'm honest, the controls were still a little bit wonky. It was designed for the Motion Plus, and if I'm perfectly honest, the Motion Plus never really worked too well with me. But it's still a fantastic game, it's still a great Zelda title. It's just my least favourite, but seeing it's your least favourite Zelda game is still an achievement on itself. Next up we have Link's Awakening and Echoes of Wisdom. I'm choosing to put these together just simply because Link's Awakening is a remake of one of my favourite Zelda games of all time. In fact, it's a remake of my very first Zelda game of all time, and depending on the day of the week, Link's Awakening or Ocarina of Time will always be my favourite. Echoes of Wisdom is fantastic though. It's a really fun game. I don't know what it is. I feel like after Breath of the Wild, Zelda kind of lost a lot of the love for like the dungeons and stuff like that, and I feel like this is the same with this one. The dungeons are kind of but the whole idea of being able to just do whatever you want and kind of break the game and using all of these different little summons as you're playing as Zelda, I love it. However, I'm going to be honest, I kind of wish it was a little bit more like this, with like more traditional dungeons. They are there. I just kind of felt like the dungeons were kind of forgettable. which is a shame. But yeah, it's still a really fantastic game, and I would recommend picking it up. But this one, I feel like, needs to be on a lot of people's lists to buy if you've not played it already. The other two Zelda games on here are Hyrule Warriors and Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. I love Koei Tecmo's Musou games, if I'm perfectly honest, and I must have sank in about 100 hours onto these Hyrule Warriors, and if I'm honest, this is the third time playing it. I bought it on the Wii U and I bought it on the 3DS as well, and Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, I enjoy it. I know there's a third one coming out in December for the Switch 2, and you better believe I will be picking it up. These are just fun. They're just fun, mindless games, which can have a bit of a skill level towards the top once you need to start kind of rejigging and mid-maxing everything and stuff like that. But yeah, I love these little titles. They're really fun. Speaking of Warriors titles, we had two Fire Emblem Warriors titles. We had Fire Emblem Warriors and Fire Emblem Warriors Three Hopes. And while we're here, let's talk about Fire Emblem Three Houses as well. Because Fire Emblem is actually a series that is very near and dear to my heart. It changed a lot of my life for the positive. I met a lot of my good friends through Fire Emblem. And yeah, if I'm perfectly honest, Fire Emblem Three Houses was a game I started, got so far through, and then it was just kind of like, I don't really like this. I love the combat in Fire Emblem. I love the turn-based strategy combat. What I don't enjoy though is running around a little base for hours on end just to get to the next bit of combat. I know it's went for the whole dating aspect and the whole thing like that, and that was relevant in previous titles such as Awakening and Fates, but I don't know, this just felt really slow and I just really struggled to get into it. I also got to a certain point in the game where I picked my choice and the outcome really annoyed me and I just put it away. To be fair, we went to Japan when this came out and obviously didn't play it for like 3 weeks, so yeah, didn't happen. I am really enjoying my playthrough of Three Hopes. I'm playing this at the moment because it does have an upgrade on the Nintendo Switch 2. So yeah, it is a really fun one. And Fire Emblem Warriors, it's fun. I like it. Again, it's more these Warriors titles, whether it be Musou or Gundam or Fire Emblem or Zelda or whatever, you're gonna have a good time if you like these. And once you've played one, you've kind of played them all. But I think that's somewhat of a good thing. I think that it's always nice to delve into these new ones, and there's tons of content in all of these. There's like 100 hours of content in every single one of these, not including DLC. I love this franchise. I love. There's kind of a glitch in this one. Not even a glitch, where you play as Camilla, who's on the back of a dragon. You can just basically backflip and just kill everything like so fast. The other Fire Emblem title on the Switch was Fire Emblem Engage. I'm going to be honest, I haven't played much of this one. It's got Toothpaste Girl, who is also the artist of Hackos Bales. Yeah, I got into it, I started playing it and then just put it down and never went back to it. It's one that is on my list to play, but I don't know what it was. I just felt so burnt out by Three Houses that I just know this one just kind of came and I kind of bought it because it went cheap, and then I was like, it's going to be expensive eventually. And yeah, I never went back to it, which is a shame because it's a franchise that was so big for me, and on the 3DS was a huge deal for me. And now I kind of just, yeah, it's kind of okay. Which, yeah, it's a shame. I really need to get back into it. There is one other one. Well, there's two other ones. There's this Shadow Dragon re-release, which I never got because we didn't get, I don't think. Or was very limited. But we also got Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and I'm going to be honest, I love this game. And if I'm even more honest, I never really got into Shin Megami Tensei, nor did I get into Persona. But I love this franchise, this series. It's just so silly. Then the combat is just so fluid and fun. It's a fun one. Obviously, I played it on the Wii U as well, but yeah, it's a fun title. Now, there are two other little strategy games that I kind of want to just mention at this point, and that is Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. Probably the most cursed game in existence, or at least one of them. I feel like any time an Advance Wars game comes out, something big kicks off in the world, and yeah, this one always ends up on the receiving end. I played through Advance Wars 1 on these and had a great time. I started 2, but then something else came out. I think Tears of the Kingdom came out and then I just never went back to it. But yeah, again, it's one of those ones where it's on my list to pick up and play through number 2, because these are very fun games. Next up is another one that I feel like a lot of people have given quite a lot of love for, but I feel like it's not getting enough love, and that is Unicorn Overlord. Again, I got 30 hours into this and then just stopped for whatever reason and never went back to it. It is on my list to pick up, but yeah, I am looking forward to picking this one back up. Whether or not I start another playthrough or just kind of continue the one I'm on, I don't know, but yeah, this one is absolutely fantastic. This is one of the best games on the system, and if I'm perfectly honest, a lot of people ask whether or not this is worth on the PlayStation 4 or if it's on the Nintendo Switch. I always say Nintendo Switch because this is a game that is suited for handheld. There's no real reason for that other than that, but yeah, I love this series. Next up is probably the most hated franchise on the system, and that is Pokemon. Now, I go back with Pokemon. Pokemon, again, is another life-changing series for me. Pokemon Red was the stuff that really got me into anime games and anime on a whole. And, yeah, without that, I would have been a completely different person. But, yeah, you know, it is Pokemon games, again, much like Musou games, I don't think they're the best tool in the shed, but you're always going to have a good time with it. Do not play with your tools in the shed. And I've obviously got Pokemon Sword. I didn't pick up Pokemon Shield, but Pokemon Sword, it was fun. I liked the whole concept, but again, it was one of those ones where it was kind of forgettable. It wasn't like anything kind of fantastic about it, but it wasn't too bad either. And we also have Pokemon Scarlet. I actually got this twice. This was sent to me twice, so I do have a sealed copy. I do want to get, as I keep seeing in all of the videos whenever I see them, I want to get Violet and I want to get the Area Zero one, but I want the revision copies where it has all of them on the thing. This is another one. A lot of people don't like this game, and I can understand why, but I had a lot of fun with it. I still had a good few hours fun out with this one. I completed it. I think I did all of the regular national decks or the regular Pokédex, the same with this one. And once the DLC came out, I just never touched it again. And yeah, this next one is Pokemon Legend Arceus. This is probably the best Pokemon game on the system, if I'm perfectly honest. It is a fantastic revision of the Pokemon franchise, which focuses on catching. You can throw your Pokeballs at Pokemon and it makes a very satisfying clunk on the back of their head as you kind of just like catch them. It's a really good one. Honestly, I can't give enough praise to this one. I just love just about every single thing about it, and it's probably one of my favourite games on the system. It is an absolutely fantastic one. Combat is a bit poo though. Next up again, this was another one where they kind of jumped on Pokemon Go, and that is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, and this is a remake of the Kanto games, which obviously are near and dear to my heart, and it's fine. I never went back to it. I want to get the Eevee one, because I think if I already play it, I'm going to have to restart it again. I don't want to lose all my stuff, but it's fine. It's not anything too special, but it's a fun little game. Now, a Pokemon game that I don't think really crops up often, and it's one that I think is the second best Pokemon game on the console, and that is New Pokemon Snap. Pokemon Snap was a title that I absolutely loved on the N64, and when they announced it, I was so excited. And you know what? This is a fantastic one to just pick up and play. They did add a few DLC extra courses which are based on the original Pokemon Snap stuff. So yeah, you take photos of Pokemon and it's really cool, and you get judged on it. And you know what? Play it. It's one of those ones that I think it's one of the most unique titles out there. There's nothing else quite like it, and yeah, it's a fun title. Really do check it out. Next up is Nintendo's main man, and we have a bunch of Mario games. So we have Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, Super Mario Odyssey, and the most hated one on the console, Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Now, I've always been a Mario guy. He's always had good games, and yeah, I think like Mario's been a bit weird on the Nintendo Switch. I feel like there's a lot of good about him, but there's a lot of kind of nah. And I think the problem comes down to the fact that realistically the main Mario game is Super Mario Odyssey, which is a fantastic game, and I really loved it. I loved the whole of the Cappy antics and stuff like that. I didn't complete it though. I always wanted to complete it, but that jump run minigame, evil. But yeah, this is a fantastic game, and it's one that I do like to go back to every now and again. It's not one I could play every year, but it's one I did enjoy quite a bit. Now, these are all re-releases of previous Mario games. Super Mario 64, Sunshine Galaxy, and this is an expensive game, probably one of the most expensive on the console, especially for first-party Nintendo. And this one, I enjoyed it on the Wii U, but I never played it on the Nintendo Switch. Again, this is one of those ones where rumours started coming out about some titles going out of print, so I picked up as many as I could before it was too late. And we have the other big new Mario game, which I kind of feel like didn't go under the radar, but was kind of forgotten about rather quickly, and that was Super Mario Wonder. Now, this is a 2D Mario game, and you know what 2D Mario is, go from left to right, get to the end goal, but this was wonderful. There's a lot of new more characters as well. You can play as Peach, you can play as Daisy, you can play as the Toads, you can play as Yoshi, and you could have an elephant, and you could collect these wonder flowers, which made the courses weird. Honestly, again, I beat this one, but kind of forgot about it. I was like, oh yeah, I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I felt like I should have. I don't know what it was. It was a fantastic game, but I was one, again, I just kind of forgot about that. I was like, every time I come across it, I was like, oh yeah, I played that. And I think that kind of feels like a lot of what people are like with it. But one of the things that Mario has had a good run with is his RPGs. Now, we got remakes of Paper Mario and Super Mario RPG. This game never actually came out in the UK, so it's nice to have them. And this one is one of the greatest Mario games of all time. I'm going to be honest, I love this one. I played it at the start of the year after playing Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 5, and I was blown away about how good this game is and how great it actually holds up. This one is my go-to guy if I want a 10-hour JRPG. And nothing too difficult, nothing too easy. It's a fun little one. And we have Origami King. I own Origami King. That's about as much as I can say about it. I've never played it. Again, it was going to get rare. It did spike up in price for quite a bit, but I saw it for 35, but I think it's kind of came back down. And another franchise for Mario was Mario and Rabbids. I played this one. This was like a £10 game. That's about as much as I can see it. I'm not going to go into depth on all of these games, but yeah, they're good games. At least the first one was. Never played the second one. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Probably the best selling game on the Nintendo Switch. And yeah, double-edged sword for me. I like that everything is contained in here. Obviously, I did buy the expansion pack as well. I hate that there wasn't anything to unlock though. I just felt like I just went through all the courses. Like, oh yeah, these are the same courses as on the Nintendo Wii U. Okay, I'm done with it. Never really played much of it. I don't know what it was. Next up is Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3. Not so keen on this one. This one is great. I really want them to bring out number 1 so we can have all 3 on cart. But one's going to go on the Nintendo Switch 2 online GameCube thing, isn't it? So yeah, we're not going to get that. Huge shame, but these are fantastic. I love these games. Not so much this one, but this one. Sucking Up Ghosts. Yeah. Probably shouldn't have said that. And the other 2 Mario games are Mario Tennis Aces and Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Now, this is a re-release of the one on the Wii U and 3DS, and it came with Mario Odyssey stuff. It's fine. And Mario Tennis Aces kind of killed any enthusiasm I had for Mario sports games. Now, Mario Tennis is one of those titles that I picked up on the N64 and absolutely love. But this one, it's tennis with Mario. It's fine. They kind of went that whole live service route where everything kept getting updates and stuff like that, but I was like, yeah, there wasn't enough on launch to kind of really make me want to kind of sit around and find out. But yeah, I have a copy of this sealed for some reason. Don't know why. If you love games, you love tea, and want to help me build my Nintendo Switch collection, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. There's plenty more coming, including more pickups, more retro game finds, and of course, more tea. See you there. Next up, we have a section called Other Nintendo Titles, and this is going to be a bunch of other first-party Nintendo stuff. So we have both Metroid Prime and Metroid Dread, one of the greatest games of all time, and somehow became even better. Honestly, I love this game, and I'm going to play through this again before Metroid Prime 4 comes out. But all I'm going to ask is, where's 2 and 3? Honestly, where is Metroid Prime 2 and 3? Really, seriously. Absolutely fantastic re-release of a fantastic, one of the greatest games of all time. Metroid Dread was a fantastic return to form. Now, 2D Metroid has one of my favourites. Obviously, Super Metroid was the game that everybody loved, and I feel like after that, Metroid Fusion was fantastic, Zero Mission was great. Metroid Samus Returns 3DS was a game I played, but Metroid Dread was great. And honestly, it was a game that I loved but never really wanted to play because
I don't know why. The whole bit where you're getting chased by these like robots kind of annoyed me. I hated the feeling restricted and you couldn't explore stuff, otherwise you'd get killed. But apart from that, I love this game so much. It's a very difficult one, but it's one that I think needs to be on more people's list because I think like it got a lot of love when it first came out, but again kind of like fell off. So yeah, not sure if it's underrated, but it's certainly a game that I think deserves more attention. Next up we have ARMS. Next up we have Astral Chain, and yeah, this is, oh, it's not, I think it's a Nintendo first party, but this is done by Platinum Games, and it's a fantastic one. Again, underrated title. I think this is on everybody's underrated title list, but yeah, it's a really good one. I love this one. Next up is a game that I consider to be a Nintendo one, and I kind of feel like it's weird that it isn't, because I know it got like, this version got like on different versions, and this is the Wonderful 101. Now, this is a worse version than the Wii U version somehow, but I like this one. I really liked this game years ago. It's just a fantastic, unique title where you have like 100 little guys and they can combine and turn into guns or fists or whips and stuff like that, and you can use them to solve puzzles and defeat monsters and stuff like that. Yeah, I like this game. Not so much on here, but it is a good one, and I consider it to be a Nintendo title. This one I think is a Nintendo title, but it's Sushi Striker. Underrated game. This one is about £6 or £7. Worth picking up for £6 or £7. Wasn't worth the full price on launch, but it is worth picking up. It is a really fun combine puzzle game with time limits. A little bit like Tetris Attack, somewhat, kind of, maybe. But yeah, I think this one gets a lot of hate, but I think this one is definitely worth checking out if you can see it cheap. CX always has it cheap. Next up we have Bayonetta 3. I've not played Bayonetta 2. I own Bayonetta 1 and 2 on the Wii U, but not on the Switch. And I played Bayonetta so many times, I never went back and got number 2. And now number 2 is rare, and I want 1, 2, and 3. Annoying. Now, a game that I think has really flourished on the Nintendo Switch, and along with Xenoblade and some others, is Pikmin. And it's cool that you can get all of Pikmin on one console. These are absolutely fantastic titles, and you have never known loss until you have accidentally murdered an entire platoon by drowning them. Yeah, this one is a fantastic series. I love it so much. I don't think it gets enough recognition, but it is a really good one. It is really, really good. Next up is Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. Again, another one that I think was starting to creep up in value. I think it's dropped now, but yeah, it was harder to get. I liked it on the Wii U. I played a little bit on the Switch, but it's a good game if you like 2D Donkey Kong. I never really was into Donkey Kong Country as a kid though, so it's not one that I have huge amounts of nostalgia for. But yeah, it's a good one. I need to pick up Donkey Kong Country Returns. Another title, again, this has become insanely popular in Japan, but not so much over here, I think, and that is Splatoon 2 and 3, and yeah, they're great games. Every time a Splatoon game comes out, I'm like, I'm going to get good at Splatoon, and I play for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and then I drop off it for whatever reason. Honestly, people are so skilled at this one. I'm really in awe of it, and it's always one that I think is good to watch. If you watch people streaming and playing it on a stream, it's always a good one to watch. I really like this one. Next up is the almighty Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Fantastic game. Again, another one that I played a lot of, but then once I kind of got everything, I never went back to it. I own all of the DLC, but I don't think I ever even went in to redeem Sora. It's just one of those ones. I love it, but once you complete the main thing, and unless you're playing it constantly online, there's not really much reason to go back to it, unfortunately. Fantastic multiplayer game with friends though, so yeah, this is what I do always love to whip out whenever we have a few friends over. Next up is two, I wouldn't say oddities, but the two ones that, yeah, Yoshi's Crafted World and Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I know this is getting a Switch 2 re-release, which I'm probably going to buy. But Kirby and Yoshi are both franchises that I loved when I was younger. But as time went on, I just didn't really fall out of love with them. I just kind of stopped buying the games. This one I just never even finished, but this one was fantastic. This is one of the best platformers on the console. A really good treat. I think I'm going to try and go back to this one. I'm surprised they never actually just went and ported the Woolly World from the Wii U, which I did play through. But yeah, it's good. It's just kind of, there's just nothing special about it, which is a huge shame. Next up is the other title that is absolutely perfect on this console, and it's my favourite franchise of the current era, and that is Xenoblade Chronicles. So we got Xenoblade Chronicles, we got Xenoblade Chronicles 2, we got Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna, which is the DLC as a standalone release, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and Xenoblade Chronicles X, the entire franchise. Now, these are, people ask me, where can you start? Start at number 1, and then go to 2, then 3. The reason being is that 3 is, so basically, this and this are kind of taking place at the same time, and then this is like a mishmash of the two. So as you can see, it's a, you can see the monster in the back is kind of getting stabbed by a giant sword, which is kind of half seen on here. Easily the best JRPG of recent history. I'm not gonna lie, this franchise saved gaming for me a few years ago. Back when we were on PS3 and everything was greys and browns and greens, and Final Fantasy started with Final Fantasy 13 and then quickly fell off. This franchise gave me a renewed interest on gaming, and it went from strength to strength on the Nintendo Switch. It's nice to see just DLC getting a full, I mean, this is 30 hours DLC. I wish they went and did the last one, the Future Redeemed, because despite me loving this franchise, I never actually played Future Redeemed. And this one, they're all coming with like extra like stories and stuff like that, which are like 30 hours. And this one I played this year. It's my favourite game of the year. Of course it had to be. It's a fantastic franchise, but another fantastic little game. Now, that's the first party stuff of my Nintendo Switch collection, and let me know in the comments what I need to pick up. There are so many first party titles that I've just missed out on. Bayonetta, Mario vs Donkey Kong, Princess Peach Showtime. Let me know if those titles are worth picking up and adding to the collection. Join me next time as we look at my JRPGs and later on third party titles, because that's where the large majority of games are. See you next time.